Hey there, fellow techs. Let's talk about that one service call we all dread. You know the one, the walk-in freezer that keeps icing up no matter what you do. Well, today, we're cutting past the basics. We're going to dive deep into a systematic way to finally nail down those really stubborn icing problems for good.
Yeah, this picture, it's a familiar sight, isn't it? But that ice on the ceiling, on the fan guards, that's not just a mess to clean up. It's a symptom, a huge clue pointing to a much bigger problem. The real key isn't just getting rid of the ice. It's about learning to read what the ice is telling you. So here's how we're going to tackle this. We're going to follow a really logical path to get to the root cause. First, we'll look at the ice itself. Then we'll make sure the box is sealed tight, check out the refrigeration circuit, and then really zero in on the defrost system. And finally, we'll talk about how to make sure you never have to come back for the same problem again.
All right, first things first. Before you even pull out your tools, your #1 diagnostic clue is the ice itself. Seriously. The way it looks, where it is, it's like a crime scene investigation. The ice is talking to you and is telling you where to look first.
Okay, so this is huge. You've got two main types of ice, and they point to two totally different problems. If you see that light, snowy frost, you can bet you're dealing with infiltration, warm, moist air getting in from the outside. But if you see that hard, clear, glassy ice, especially up on the ceiling, your problem is almost definitely in the defrost system. This one distinction can save you hours of guesswork.
So following that logic, rule #1 is to always rule out air leaks first. It's the most common culprit for that snowy frost. Before you even think about hooking up your gauges, you have to be 100% sure that the box is actually airtight.
Your first stop is always the door. I mean, it's the biggest hole in the box, right? You got to get your hands on those gaskets. Feel for any cracks, any rips, any spots that have gone hard and brittle. Is that door heater working, or is the gasket literally freezing itself to the frame? And check the closers. A door that doesn't pull itself shut tight is just a constant invitation for warm air.
After the door, look at the rest of the box. That little pressure relief port is a sneaky one. If it's iced up or the heater in it has failed, you'll get pressure problems that can actually keep the door from sealing. And check the panels themselves. On older units, that insulation can get waterlogged, turning it into a useless, frozen block. If you see water dripping when the unit's off, you've found a massive issue.
Okay, so you've sealed the box up tight. You're confident there are no air leaks. Now it's time to get technical. Let's hook up the gauges and check the system's vital signs, because the icing could be a direct result of something going wrong inside the refrigeration circuit.
I love a good chart like this because it just lays it all out for you. Cause and effect. You're seeing low suction pressure? Well, you're probably hunting for a leak. Compressor kicking out all the time? Could be a bad pressure switch. And this one's great. If you see frost building up way more on one side of the evaporator, go check that fan motor. This connects what you're seeing directly to what you need to test.
And you know, sometimes the problem isn't a broken part at all, it's just basic physics. If the staff has stacked boxes right up against the evaporator, the coil can't breathe. It can't absorb heat from the air. So what happens? It gets way too cold and any moisture just flash freezes to it, choking off the airflow even more. This is where you have to have that crucial conversation with the client about proper loading.
All right, now we're getting into the real head-scratcher. That hard, clear ice on the ceiling, the one that trips up a lot of techs. To solve this mystery, we have to put the defrost system under the microscope.
So here's the question, and it sounds kind of crazy at first, right? How can the defrost cycle, the thing that's supposed to get rid of ice, actually create more ice? Yeah, you heard that right. And believe me, this is often the culprit in those super persistent icing nightmares.
So here's what's happening. The defrost cycle kicks on and melts the frost off the coil. Great. But if it keeps running after the coil is clear, all that extra heat just starts boiling the water. It creates steam. And where does that warm, moist air go? Straight up. It hits the freezing cold ceiling, condenses instantly, and refreezes into these little ice pellets. We call that pebbling. And over time, that builds up into a major slip hazard on the floor.
And boom, there it is. That's exactly what pebbling looks like. When you see this pattern, you've found your smoking gun. This isn't from an air leak. This is the direct result of a defrost cycle that's running way too long or just not terminating when it's supposed to.
So how do you fix it? You got to go down the checklist. Is the defrost timer itself broken? What about the fan delay switch? Are the fans kicking on too early and blowing that water all over the place? And here's the big one. Is the termination switch actually sensing the temperature, or is it just running on a timer? And hey, don't forget the drain heaters. A clogged, frozen drain can back everything up.
Okay, so the immediate fire is out. You've found the root cause and fixed it. But we're not done yet.
This is where you go from being a repair guy to being a true consultant for your client. Let's talk about how to stop this from ever happening again.
You can lay out a simple, proactive plan for them. It really boils down to these 5 things we've been talking about. Regular system checks, keeping those coils clean, putting eyes on the door seals every time you're there, reminding them about proper airflow, and, most importantly, actually monitoring and adjusting those defrost timers so they match how the unit is being used.
And that is the real game changer. This is the value you bring. By being proactive, you're not just fixing today's problem. You are saving your client from a catastrophic failure, from lost product, and from a crazy expensive emergency call in the middle of a heat wave.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. On your very next service call, what's that one little clue you're going to spot now that you might have missed before? Is it a little bit of frost on a door gasket, a slight drop in suction pressure, or the very first signs of that pebbling on the ceiling? Finding that early is what makes you a master of your craft. Thanks for tuning in.